What's up, YouTube? And I'm back at you with another video. And in today's video, I'm just going to give my prediction for the Georgia Bulldogs versus the Kentucky Wildcats. But if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And by doing so, it greatly helps out my channel and it helps me grow as a content creator. Well, the #1 team in the country is going on the road against the Wildcats, and I got the stats for the game, guys. We all know Georgia is coming off of going on the road against Mississippi State. And they beat them really, really good, guys. They beat them 45-19. Uh, that was a good win, guys, going on the road in Mississippi State. Had to battle against the noise in the crowd with the cowbells, and Stetson Bennett just continued to look good. You know, the team as a whole is just looks good, and Stetson Bennett, so far has thrown for 2,895 yards with 14 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So this guy just continues to do good for Georgia. Seems like he's getting better. It might be in the Heisman talk right now. He's been consistent. He's putting up the numbers. And all he does is just go out there and win. So, like I said, Georgia is definitely the #1 team in the country and doing exactly what they need to do each game. They're winning. Ever since the little hiccups they had early in the season, ever since then, they just been clicking. So uh, they're on fire right now. And it's going to be hard for any team to beat them in the country right now. On the other side, Kentucky has Will Levis. Has a up and down season, guys. It started off good, but last couple of seasons, not season, but the last couple of games, he's been not doing a very, very good job. He's thrown for 2,012 yards, but he has 16 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. So, like I said, just not really good. If you're looking at the touchdown to interception ratio, he hasn't been doing good. And they actually lost to Vanderbilt last week. So, Kentucky's probably very, very disappointed right now and having that let down. And now they're hosting the #1 team in the country. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of Kentucky team we're going to see Saturday. Georgia has Dejon Edwards at running back, beast of a player. He has 497 yards with 7 touchdowns. If I'm not mistaken, I think he fumbled the ball, in the last game, and I know he wanted to get that back, but he's still a bruiser, guys. That's the only knock that I have on Georgia. They tend to turn the ball over or fumble these last couple of games, and that's something they definitely want to clean up. But other than that, that's the only knock on Georgia. Good at every level of the game. Kentucky has Chris Rodriguez Jr. This guy is a beast of a player. He has 733 yards and 6 touchdowns. But he's going to go against, Georgia's run defense, and Georgia's really, really good at stopping the run. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that matchup. Of course, Georgia has Brock Bowers. He has 615 yards, 4 touchdowns. This guy right here, every team that he's played this season, no one can stop this guy. This guy has wide receiver speed, but he has tight end. He's big like a tight end, which he is a tight end, but I'm just saying, like, he has the size and the speed, makes him a mismatch for any team. So Kentucky's going to have their hands full with this guy. And Kentucky has Tavion Robinson as their wide receiver. He has 470 yards and 3 touchdowns. So like I said, Kentucky overall as a team, coming off a loss, going to have to do some soul searching, but it's going to be tough sledding going against this Georgia team. I'm looking at the points per game. Georgia's averaging 40.6 points per game. Really, really good. Georgia has an elite offense. The way they go about, moving the ball down the field is very methodical, but they're still putting up high numbers, guys. So have one of the best offenses in the country. Kentucky, on the other hand, is only averaging 23.3. That's not good going up in this matchup against Georgia. But it's going to be interesting to see what Kentucky can muster up after a loss. Points allowed per game. Georgia's only allowing 11.6 points per game. Kentucky is allowing 20.1, 20.0. So Georgia has the advantage on points allowed per game. Total yards. Georgia's averaging 509 yards per game. Kentucky's averaging 339. Clear advantage goes to Georgia. You were to break that down, Georgia's getting 317 yards through the air, and they're averaging 192 on the ground. That's crazy, guys. The average, anything over 150 yards on the ground is really, really good, and Georgia's almost averaging 200 yards on the ground. So very, very balanced offense. Kentucky, on the other hand, they're averaging 219 through the air, and they're allowing 119 on the ground. So Kentucky is going to want to get that number up. But like I said, it's going to be tough going against this Georgia defensive front. Yards allowed, Georgia's allowing 269.8, which is, if you were to break that down, they're allowing 187 through the air, and they're allowing 82 on the ground. Kentucky is allowing 317 total yards, and if you break that down, Kentucky's only allowing 182 through the air and 135 on the ground. So Kentucky's no slouch on defense, but they're going against a better defense in Georgia and a team in Georgia that's very, very efficient on the offensive side of the ball. So it's going to be interesting to see what Kentucky can muster up, at home against the #1 team in the country. Looking at, both schedules, of course, Auburn lost to Georgia 42-10. Georgia beat Vanderbilt 55-0. Florida 42-20. They beat Tennessee, the #1 team at the time, 27-13. Like I said, completely shut down that very, very explosive Tennessee offense. So, like I said, Kentucky's offense is nowhere near Tennessee. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this matchup. And then, of course, Georgia beat Mississippi State 45-19. Kentucky, on the other hand, took a loss to South Carolina. I know Will Levis didn't play that game, but they still lost the game, 24-14. Kentucky beat Mississippi State 27-17. And they hosted Mississippi State at home. They went on the road to Tennessee, lost 44-6. Tennessee shut them down offensively, and that's not, good going against a Georgia team that has a better defense. Missouri, they went on the road to Missouri, beat them 27-17. And then, like I said, lost to Vanderbilt, at home, 24-21. So Kentucky has their hands full with Georgia. And I'm looking at the spread of the game. Currently, they have Georgia at minus 22.5. I can definitely see that. If I had to give my prediction for the game, I predict Georgia to win. I think I wrote it down. Yeah, I predict Georgia to win somewhere between, I want to say 35-10. I think Kentucky might get a touchdown late in the game when it doesn't matter, but I think for the majority of the game, not Alabama, but Georgia is going to hold them, and out the end zone. This Georgia team is very, very good. Great defensive front, and this is a defense that's lost a lot of players, but and still, they don't even have Nolan Smith out there. So this is a team that not Nolan Smith, I'm sorry. What's the guy's name? The one that's injured, the one that wears the glasses. I can't think his name right now, but he's not out there, and they're still able to put out these defensive stats, and it's going to be scary for college football, going forward, because Kirby Smart is doing a heck of a job of developing the team as a whole, and they still have guys on both sides of the ball that can be back next year. Brock Bowers and a lot of those defensive guys are coming back next year, and Georgia's already got them guys playing at a high level right now. So Georgia's looking scary right now. Like I said, I got them to win the game 35-10. I just don't see how Kentucky is going to be able to win this game, even if it's at home. But like I said, Georgia playing at a high level, and they're going to continue to win out, in my opinion. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. And once again, guys, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.